Yes, g'day. Welcome along to the ACC's Mad Monday podcast, the final one for the year of 2025. Of course, we're coming to you live from the Export Beer Garden studio, and this is all thanks to those legends at 4 and 20 Pies. You've got Roger Kesey-Vasashek joining you on the final episode, and also Tohu Henwood, Dai Henwood, fresh back from the grand final over in Australia there. How you going this week, mate?
I'm good, although I've had to change my name to James Fisher Henwood after the retirement of the wonderful Tohu Harris. I am fizzing, man. I had 6 beautiful nights in sunny Manly, staying on the beach. 28-degree grand final, staying at the hotel attached to the stadium, so we could be there all day and night, soaking up the experience. Let me tell you something. That was awesome. We're staying at the Novotel, which is owned by Accor. They have all their hotels there. And because the Broncos won, our room looked down into the party fan zone, and because they wanted to get in the Broncos spirit, it just went hard out punishing house track into hard out punishing country tune into hard out punishing house track into hard out punishing country tune. And the vibe there was insane. Shout out to all the Kiwis and Mad Monday fans I saw there. I didn't realize how huge the Broncos Kiwis crossover was. All the Kiwis I saw were in Broncos jerseys.
Yeah, I guess because, whenever you go and see, like, for example, Ben Hurley's Gold Coast Titans play, it's all Kiwis. So a lot of Kiwis do obviously move to Brisbane. So because the weird thing about Brisbane is, and I think you fit into this category, is you hate the Broncos, right?
Yeah, I'm a hard out New South Wales fan. They're my When I say hate, they're my team that always beats the team I love.
Yes.
They've often smashed the Wars. The New Queensland's just had this brutal run in Origin. And they're my villain team. And yes, I love to hate them because they've just got so many amazing players. And being over in Aussie was a whole nother experience. This is not rugby league, but this defines Aussie press. They did a piece on Tamati Williams, the AB's prop, and he said, "I'm a Mozzie, right? I'm a Māori Aussie," and they printed it in the paper. He's a mouldy Aussie, MOULDY, because they obviously heard him pronounce Māori right. And just went, he's a mouldy. We're not quite sure, but Tamati Williams refers to himself as a mouldy Aussie.
Oh, wow. Unfortunately, I'm not surprised by that at all. If he had said Maori Aussie.
Yeah, I'm a Maori Aussie. But massive shout out to whoever put on Sunday's grand final day. The whole day was amazing. Teddy Swims smashed it out of the park. I was interested to see Teddy Swims because he's more a vocalist. He's not a ramp up hype guy, but dropping his version of TNT by AC/DC was an absolute masterstroke. The vibe in the ground, you have these little bracelets that they give you when you walk in that are timed to the music and they light up. So when the Storm score, they go purple, so the whole ground goes purple. Awesome. When Brisbane score, it goes like that sort of maroony yellow. And the vibe was just epic. They said it was sold out. We could see a few empty seats, but it was just packed. The vibe was insane. And after having a winter in the pouring rain at Mount Smart, sitting in like a mid-20s evening to nighttime game, you just got a T-shirt on. Yeah. There's a guy behind you who's literally got 12 Jim Beam cans, doing some horrendous takes on the game. It was a joy to be there. My kids loved it. My wife loved it. I got nothing but good things to say. And getting into the league side of it, how good was it actually having a Wars team there on the day?
Well, I mean, that's the sort of unbelievable thing too, isn't it? And just quickly before we do move to that, you've done Mad Monday before, right? Not Mad Monday. You've done Magic Round before in Brizzy?
No, that's my next bucket list thing.
Yeah, because I think my next bucket list thing is the grand final, because like Magic Round's a real drawn out 3 days just slog and it's brilliant, but just one concentrated day of rugby league excellence really sounds like the dream for me.
Yeah, the day is the way to do it because it's similar to Magic Round. And even though there aren't all the teams, there are fans from all the clubs.
Yeah.
So there's that vibe. But yeah, because the Wars often play on the Sunday of Magic Round, it feels like you're just so soaked in rugby league by the end. And because of Magic Round and the beauty of Brisbane around the Suncorp, you're pretty rinsed on, you've had 1 million plus beers.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely. Yeah. Well, that's the thing.
And also the thing I was about to say about Magic Round is the stadium's never full because, it's teams you come and go, whereas it's just 80,000 packed.
That's the bizarre thing for me when I saw that stat, because I've never really seen that stadium like packed out and properly hissing like it was at the weekend. Like you'll see it full, but it just seemed like one of the most incredible experiences. And I think a lot of credit has to go to the fact that the Broncos were in the final. If that was the Panthers and the Storm, I don't think there's any way that place would have been as amazing as it looked to have been on Sunday night on TV.
Oh, we were sitting, when you normally watch a game there, they cover the empty seats with like the Bulldogs logo or the Souths logo. We were sitting right up there, which for a rugby league nerd like me is awesome, as you're looking down on the players so you can see all the formations and how they run them and that.
Yeah.
And it also is, because New Zealand doesn't have any stadiums that size, you get up there and almost get a vertigo moment where it's like, oh, this is insane. And, Eden Park is, 50, 55, but just that extra 30,000 is insane. And because there's a big concourse around it, there's so much going on. Oh, how's this for Trippy? Me and the talisman Dai Henwood are at the merch tent getting some grand final stuff. Turn around and Webby is behind me.
Right, Webby. He's just there to watch the game, just in the crowd.
Yeah, so I turn around and I'm like, Webby. And he goes, hey, how you going? And I went, hey, thanks for an awesome season. He was like, hey, thanks for you guys like supporting the Wars and all that. Then he just wanders into the ground. It was so trippy just seeing a coach wandering around the concourse.
Yeah, that is bizarre. So he was just there as a fan, just getting his rugby league fix, I'm guessing.
Yeah, and this would have been maybe 20 minutes before the Wars game, and he goes, yeah, just cruising in to see the young boys.
That is amazing. Yeah. Oh, yeah, true, actually, because he's what do you want to talk about that game first?
Absolutely.
Because over here in New Zealand, you feel a bit disconnected from it because most of their games aren't televised, Like it can be a hard thing to sort of keep up with. But over there,
because I was saying, everywhere they split the rights between for the New South Wales Cup. They don't just carry it, so you only get. I think we only cover the games when they play directly before us at Mount Smart.
Yes, which, by the way, is an awesome doubleheader to go along to. If you ever do that, try and get a game. If you're flying up from Christchurch or something, try and get a game where the Wars are playing and the reserve grade team's playing before them. Go to the Lily World as well. One of the best ways to experience rugby league. But you were there, and for the Warriors development side to not only, obviously get as far as they did, take on the top team in the other comp and then beat them, but they absolutely smoked them. Like, what is this? Like, are we bound for amazingness in the next few years based on this?
Let's put a slight asterisk by development side. We played 12 NRL players out of 17.
Yeah.
And that teams, you forget there's people like Bunty R4 was in there, plus you've got all those ones that have played in the past, like Ed Cossey and so forth. So we're checking into our hotel. There's an old mate in front of us, Brisbane hat, Brisbane pajamas, Brisbane socks and Brisbane shoes. And I just go to him, it's good to see. He said, "Oh, you're a Warriors fan." I went, "Yeah, it's good. At least we've got a team in today." And he goes, "Oh, the Burleigh Bears are going to smash you, mate. We're born rugby league, so Queensland just wins, right?" And then when we were 16 minutes into the game, Tanner Boyd had 3 try assists and 1 try. I was like, "Oh, maybe the Wars might have this." So the final score was 50-20, 6 points off the highest score ever on a grand final day, which was 56. And they looked electric. Honestly, Tanner Boyd played like Joey Johns. I felt a bit sorry for him. So I was like, if people could actually see, this is why you took over from Metcalf, which in hindsight, it's a bit of a hospital past. Metcalf was flying, and then suddenly Tanner Boyd comes in. He hasn't played with that combination, but he was on fire. Bunty was on fire. Cossey, everyone played their skins out, and they just deserved it. A big shout out to a couple of the boys. Weirdly, Charlie, the Talisman's assistant teacher, played in that game. Who
was that?
Jason Ciololo.
I thought Bunty was teaching him or something.
No, so apologies to people who heard this story before, all the Jersey Flegg boys have to be assistant teachers at school around Auckland.
Yes.
He gets the call up halfway through the season to go full-time at the end of the last term, to be full-time New South Wales Cup team.
Awesome.
So him and Jet Cleary have won 3 finals this year: the Jersey Flegg, the New South Wales Cup, and the Interstate Championship.
Awesome. Then this begs the question: have we just signed a whole heap of dudes who are really, really excellent reserve grade players? Is that what we've done somehow?
That's what I worry about. Seeing how Tanner didn't quite translate. The positives are in the forwards, like people like this guy, Jason Ciololo, and the sort of big boppers. I know that the Warriors were approached about Nelson Asafa-Solomona coming over, and they went, nah, no interest.
Good. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Okay. Great.
Because that is a signing that we would have done
100%. Yeah.
5 years ago.
Let's get Matt Lodge back as well. Let's get Kane Evans back. Let's get them all together.
Those dudes that play 8 games a year and are suspended the rest.
That's right. Exactly. Oh my goodness.
Big Setu 2, who's on the wing. He's looking pretty fire. He's probably the guy who's hot on the heels of Dallin. But then there's these rumors about Cam Pereira coming over.
Yeah, it's interesting. Traditionally, with those rumors, I'd be anti it. And what I want is a winger who can defend, and that's not Cam Pereira's strong point. But he is unbelievably quick, and we are the slowest team in the NRL. So, and also the fact that we got Aaron Clark from the Titans, and he's been a revelation. I'm like, maybe signing Titans is a good idea. So
yeah, because that's the thing is, it's not like Aaron Clark was the Titans' best player.
No,
he was a bit. Yeah. He was like. When he came, I literally was, who's this Aaron Clark again? Had to have a bit of a look. And, yeah. And
straight up,
it's like we haven't lost anything from Tohu.
Yes,
they're very different players, but he's just coming hard. What I find weird is, so Dallin signed to the end of 2027. Yeah. So where do these wingers play?
Yeah, I know.
So the thing is, right? Odds are on, it seems, Rog goes at the end of this year, right? To rugby, to R360.
Yeah, that weird.
I heard some interesting commentary that no team succeeds without a superstar fullback, which is quite true. Like, you look at Pappenhausen, Reece Walsh, Tedesco, teams that fell over, KO Weeks.
So Dylan Edwards would be classed as a superstar fullback. He is now, but at the time,
that's true. He feels, to me, Dylan Edwards fits more into that Chance mold.
But then they had Nathan Cleary too, which
So I mean, I'm intrigued to see how the Warriors line up next year. Webby's he sticks with us. He sticks faithful, which as much as people are knocked down and that, we went a hell of a lot deeper this year than expected. And if we can consolidate on that, who knows where we'll go. But there's so much to like at a New South Wales Cup. Like, those boys looked, they just looked like first graders, a lot of them, and they're pretty young. And I actually think next year, because I have this worry that Metcalf is going to be a 10-game-a-year player. So
well, my thing on Metcalf is I agree, because he's very, very injury prone. I mean, but also my thing with Metcalf is he's doing a bit of a Reece Walsh, my worry, and that he is just raising his value and then will probably leave to an Aussie side is my worry with him as well.
Yeah, I mean, by all accounts, he loves New Zealand.
He does,
and is pretty settled here. I mean, I want him to play every round next year. And hey, last year, Reece Walsh missed half the season. Yeah. So fingers crossed. He's just had that, because this is his second sort of long-term injury at the Wars, eh?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So hopefully nothing happens next year and we can bed down that halves combination. But I love the New South Wales Cup team. We went back to the hotel just to have a little bit of quiet, because that's the thing is, with kids, going to a game at 1 o'clock and then the main game starts at 7:30, that's a lot.
Oh my goodness!
And it's 28. It was 32 in the stadium, that.
There's only so many like hot dogs and fizzy drinks you can give them to like keep them there that long.
Exactly. Credit to the Wars side; they played in 32 degrees, sunshine. Right. That is insane. So we go back to the hotel, and there's the Burleigh Bears guys there in their boots, bro.
What? It's still in the hotel, just in their boots?
Yeah, they just legged it out of the ground after the game, and then so we're standing in their bar area, their lobby, sort of watching the warm up to the women's game, and then you hear clack 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 clack, and turn around and like, this bloody Burleigh Bears guys.
Far out. So they didn't even stop and to remove their boots and things. They just legged it. That is ridiculous.
Yeah, we're out.
Oh, well, that's brilliant. Is there anything else you'd like to say on the Warriors NSW Queensland Cup win, mate? Or are you?
All I want to say is shout out to is Mark Robinson, the owner of
he's the owner of the Warriors, yeah.
Full shout out to him, because the Warriors were in a pretty grim situation with no big feeder teams and that. Now we've got women's team, SG ball team, Jersey flag team. We won the Jersey flag. We won the New South Wales Cup. We won the Interstate Championship. The club is in a really good place, and that is a massive credit to him. His investment, picking Webby, people were like, who's this Andrew Webster? Webby has been a revelation. The vibe at the club, the players seem happy. It's a good time to be a Wars fan, and I sense that the next couple of years we're going to be going deep into the finals.
Hell yeah, that's what I like to hear. All right, we'll take a quick break here on the Mad Monday podcast. When we return, we will get properly into that amazing grand final with the Broncos beating the Storm 26-22. We'll be back in a sec. Welcome back to the Mad Monday podcast, live from the Export Beer Garden studio and brought to you by 4 and 20 Pies. It is time to chat the NRL Grand Final. The Broncos beating the Storm 26 points to 22. You've got Dai Henwood and Chris Key here, and Dai, you were on the ground over there in Sydney. 80,000 people packed into a stand that is usually relatively void of life. It was absolutely hissing. I've never had FOMO more than watching this rugby league final. And I think the reason is, and people hate the Broncos. When I say hate, of course, in the sporting term, they're just your villains, as you mentioned earlier. People don't like the Broncos. They don't like Reece Walsh. However, you cannot argue that the way that he played in the final sort of 2 months of the competition, he like Cleary is the best player, all around player in rugby league. Reece Walsh was the best player in the NRL. The way that he was able to switch it on, the way that the games they had to play, they had to take down the Raiders, who won the entire minor premiership. They then had to beat the Penrith Panthers, who'd been there a million times, were on such a roll. And then they took down Craig Bellamy in the grand final. Huge shout out to the Brisbane Broncos, because this already was one of the most exciting regular seasons I can remember. And now it's one of the best finals, that I can remember. And it's going to take a lot to match the bar of what was set in the last few weeks in the NRL.
Well, how crazy is this stat? The Broncos only led for 27 minutes of the entire final series.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Oh wow.
Because they've come from behind from 6 of their last 8 games or something, and pretty healthy deficits, right?
Yes.
2 14-point deficits, 12-point deficit in the grand final. And that's a testament to Michael Maguire and how fit he got that side. Like, they were just ready to hit. And they lost both of their halfbacks in that game.
Well, that's the ridiculous thing, right? I mean, they've got a combined, 1,000 games under the hood, Ben Hunt and Adam Reynolds. And also, the thing for me with this was I feel like I'm watching an ESPN 30 for 30. It's like Madge is dumped from the Tigers, and then he wins all these things and wins State of Origin, goes straight to the Broncos. First season, gets them to the grand final, wins it, and then look at the halves. You've got Ben Hunt, Andrew Reynolds gets carried off. Ben Hunt, who had, he had all these great storylines. Ben Hunt leading towards this grand final. 2015, of course, he dropped the ball, and then the Cowboys ended up winning. So he had a final to forget. Then, probably won't remember this one either because of the concussion.
That was. I don't know how much was on the TV coverage. That was brutal, the state he was in after.
Oh, no, it was all on the coverage.
And massive respect to Reece Walsh, who just sort of hugged him and was like, because he was trying to go back into the line, and Reece Walsh was hugging him like, bro, you're cooked, man.
Yeah, you could see Reece saying, and on the coverage, actually, you could see him saying, I'm sorry, man, I'm so sorry. Saying it's done. There's no way you're getting back.
The soul thing I thought after that, it was going, I don't reckon getting on the piss right now is the best thing for you, bro.
Yeah, but he will as well. Jeez.
And that game, it's not the big players. Why the Broncos won that is because Madge Maguire got all those lower paid players, the $200,000 players, your Dean Mariners, and that got them up to grand final.
Yes, well,
level.
That's the interesting.
Both of their wingers were dropped, Cobbo and Arthurs.
Yes, and that's the interesting thing is you've got Karapani and you've also got Dean Mariner, and I'm like, these guys they're like the Sharks with Sione Katoa and Mulitalo. All of a sudden, you've got these two dudes who, at the beginning of the season, weren't even in the 17, and they were both absolutely excellent. And I was like, why can't we get 2 wingers like that at the Warriors?
And Shibasaki is on $80,000.
What?
He is on $80,000 plus he gets $3,000 for every NRL game played.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so that's the thing, right? Because Shibasaki's one of those dudes too. He's at the Cowboys, he's at the Raiders. He's just been sort of turfed from team to team. And now, yeah, you're right.
He started out at the Rabbits, and then he just fell out of the NRL. Then he got on this train and trial deal with Madge. And I thought when he shaved his goatee off, his form would dip. But no, it just kept on rocking.
He was awesome. And as soon as he gets within that sort of 10 meters away from the try line, going a dummy to the winger and going himself, you don't think Shibasaki, powerful ball runner, but holy shit, man, he can crash over the line and score. He's been phenomenal this season.
Yeah, 2 tries to him. 2 tries to Dean Mariner.
Yeah.
Reece Walsh, we've got to get on to him. He arguably had an 80-minute performance. People knock him on his defense. He made 3 of the most amazing defensive reads. How he shut down the 2-on-1 with Eli Katoa
And straight for Pappy, yeah.
Pappy. He just held on Katoa. Then the second he sensed him passing, hit Pappy.
Yeah.
He read perfectly. Hitting Kamikamithi, hitting Kamikamitha's arm on the way down.
Yeah.
That was the turning point. If Kamikamitha scored that straight after halftime, I reckon Storm just keep going.
Well, that's the thing. Instead, what happened was he did drop it, and the Melbourne Storm went on to play for about 10 minutes without ever having the ball. And then also Reece Walsh easily chasing down Ryan Pappenhausen and tackling him out as well.
It's only live. Like, I know he's fast, but it's live when you see him coming from way outside the screen of play to get to the ball, to run around the scrum like he did to hoon around the scrum when he scored that ultimate grand final try of running through 5 of the worst tackles. I have Trent Liero tapped his hair. Like, there was no shoulders. There was no anything. I must say, did you hear any of Bellamy after the game?
No, see, this was one thing I wanted to touch on today is because I really dislike Reece Walsh, as a lot of people do, but I love watching him. Because of that, I couldn't watch a lot of the celebrations afterwards.
I know. The Porcelain Princess is my villain. Like, I know the NRL are basing the entire year around him next year. He is the sole face of rugby league now. And
to be fair, Dai, 100% rightly so. Like, he's amazing.
He's got 1 million followers between TikTok and Instagram. He's just popping off. He's bringing people into the game who aren't rugby league fans. He bristles Aussies and Kiwis because he's so arrogant, and then he backs it up.
Yes.
He's all talk, but then he backs it up. He's a freak. He's
that's the thing with him too, right? It's always been good because he's been so arrogant and so young and just like doing dumb shit that he then gets brought down to earth again because, he has off games and blah, 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 blah. However, over the last 2 months, he's played like the best rugby league I think I've ever seen anyone play. So now it is great having this villain who is also just absolutely excellent at rugby league.
Yeah, he it made me watching that game made me go, wow. Imagine if our back row was Eli Katoa and our fullback was Reece Walsh.
God. Yeah, because Eli Katoa, when that got swept under the rug was the fact that he had like all these line break assists and try assists and score. Like, he's a freak.
The try he put, names just dropped me. The Melbourne winger in.
No, it was Warbrick.
Yeah, on the other side, Warbrick.
Yeah.
Just a bullet cut-out pass at the right time.
Yeah.
Eli Katoa was man of the match for Melbourne.
Yes.
Will Warbrick lost that game for Melbourne as well. Warbrick and Kamikamitha.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think this about Will Warbrick, and I think the fact that he missed so much of the season this year was definitely hindered him, but he has got a real issue with holding on to the ball and also reading what the opposition are doing. Because him and Meaney are easily their massive weak spot.
Oh, completely. And Pappy had a break where he flicked an inside ball, and Warbrick, that was a guaranteed try on Warbrick. I've never seen the Storm play that badly.
Yeah, 100%. Like, and you're right with Warbrick. Like, he's not as alert as any other winger would be to know that he needs to back up and be ready for that pass. Unfortunately, I think he's so big and he's tall and he's, probably great in the air. I don't know. But I feel like they're trying to make 2 Xavier Coates, but they don't quite have 2 Xavier Coates.
Yeah. Getting back to Bellamy, right? So he got asked a question like, so in future, how do you deal with someone like Reece Walsh? And he just deadpans it and goes, oh, well, you could tackle him, but we just chose not to.
Is it that easy, right? Because watching on TV, I know that Reece Walsh is going to sweep round. He's going to get the ball, accelerate for the corner post, beat the first guy, and then throw a skip pass. And I'm like, that's what he does. But when it's happening to you, he's obviously so quick that you can't even deal with it, right?
His everything he does is quick. The running, his passing, he goes from holding to like a bullet pass so quickly. Just flicks it off his hips. That one that went forward, almost would have been an amazing try.
That was outrageous. Yeah,
and now Michael Maguire's got his defense sorted. He's still 23. Imagine what he's like at 25 once he's actually learned the game even more and learned how to read it.
Yeah, and like Madge to Michael Maguire, he has obviously done something to guys like Reece Walsh, and like Katoni Staggs, who has been the biggest. Like once every 6 games, Katoni Staggs will have an awesome game, and he's a devastating ball runner, and he's just brilliant. But over the last couple of months, he's made Katoni Staggs. He's made him step up every single game. He's done the same with Reece Walsh. Like I think that's the most incredible part of all this is what Madge has managed to turn this like mirage of a team who, when the stars align, are amazing to just being amazing constantly.
Oh yeah, and then we haven't even got on to Payne Haas. Melbourne could control him in his first stint, but then his second stint when they were tired, he just made meters. Ezra Mam, I don't think he should have been playing this season, but that's not his fault. The NRL let him play. And Broncos let him play. He made a massive impact. He was the only half left on the field.
Well, what about with Payne Haas? Because, I mean, at this point with him, it goes without saying that he was so instrumental to anything they've achieved over the past 5 or so years. Payne Haas and like Pat Carrigan as well have been right at the centre of it. But to have Payne Haas off the field with 12 minutes or something left in the first half and then not put him back on, and then by the time he came back on, Brisbane had started to rally. Like, if I was the coach, I would have freaked out and just put Payne Haas on straight away, But Madge was like, no, we got this.
Exactly. And then the thing is, once you saw him come back on, the Broncos then lifted again.
Yeah.
Weirdly, Reece Walsh started playing really good in the season when Adam Reynolds fell out. The Broncos started playing amazing as soon as Adam Reynolds left the field. This is no knock on Adam Reynolds, but I just wonder whether with him not there, it forces Reece Walsh to be the ball player, almost be a half.
Yeah. Do you reckon it's a situation too? Because and this is probably my negative attitude towards Reece Walsh's attitude. Do you reckon Reece Walsh likes to be the number one guy, like unless he is the go-to, and Adam Reynolds deservedly is, unless he's the go-to, he doesn't like playing that side role, he's either all in at number one or, not.
Yeah, and I think it's a combination of that plus the fact that the Broncos have so many ball players, Hunt, Walters, who wasn't playing, Adam Reynolds, Ezra Mam, Reece Walsh, and then they've got the hard guys like Hetherington had an epic game.
I feel like there's 3 NPCs at the Broncos who just stepped up, which is like Hetherington was what's the guy who came in and played in the halves when Ben Hunt went out?
Oh,
yes, so I'll forget his name here because there are so many of these guys in the Broncos who are
Tyson Smoothie had it.
Smoothie. Yeah, Tyson Smoothie, Corey Pakes, and Corey Jensen as well. These like random guys who are just, they are just NPCs, and everyone was excellent.
Yeah, but that's the thing, and they nullified Melbourne. Like Jerome Hughes had a cracking game. However, that second half, man, he was nursing that arm for a lot of that second half. He had a great game, but they managed to shut down Munster. I thought Munster was gonna own that game because he's a bit like Reece Walsh, where you can't get him on that first tackle.
Yeah, he's obviously he's also one of the most experienced players on the field and being in situations like that. He's the most comfortable at being in that situation. And I was waiting for him, and he sort of tried to do some stuff towards the end, set up a break, but they really didn't give him any space. And that's also the bizarre thing about the Broncos the latter half of the season is their defense was horrific the entire season. Like, they would win by outscoring in a high-scoring affair. However, the last 15 minutes, when we'd lost both our halves, I think you had Brendan Piakura up at left center when Karapani went off, and we had Tyson Smoothie shout out defend. I was just like, they are going to let Melbourne in here, and they just didn't.
But that's a testament to all throughout the season. Madge played all those guys out of position, so they knew what to happen when chaos struck. I was looking at some stats. They had 51 tackle breaks compared to 38.
Yeah, right.
They just owned it, you know. Shibasaki had just like 3 epically clean breaks. And the Storm, they had crucial errors. What was it? The 67th minute, 73rd minute, 77th minute. And then Liero got sin-binned at the 78th minute. On to sin-bins. What was your take on Reece Walsh's shoulder?
Okay, so that happened pretty early in the game, right? And you've got the guy who is on every billboard and every poster. Because this is like yesterday we did the big show. Jace walks in straight away, and me and Mike are just fizzing about how good that grand final was, and he straight away is like, "It's bullshit. Reece Walsh should have been carded," and I was like, "Yes, but the ref waved away about 3 or 4 of those shots from a lot of players throughout the entire game." I get it. However, regular season, that would have 100% been a yellow card. 100% without any questions, straight away, gone. And then Liero's one just had a bit of extra sriracha on it. Just a bit extra, enough to be like, hey, we have to send this guy off. But at the same time, like, yeah, I wouldn't have sent Reece Walsh off. Definitely not.
No, well, full credit to Hoyty J. Born rugby league, drinks rugby league, right? like hasn't missed a minute since the start of the Bartercard Cup. Like, the man, you know, they don't call him Jason Willie poaching Hoyt for nothing. And look, you can't send Reece Walsh off. No, it's just so Dean Mariner does that, he gets 10.
Yes.
Right? Liero, for Grant Atkins, you're sending him off in the 78th minute when Melbourne have the ball, when Melbourne are about to get the ball.
That's right.
It's not really affecting that game.
No.
You send Reece Walsh off halfway through the first half, that massively affects the game.
That's right. And Jace Willie poaching Hoyt was like, if I'm the coach, then I'm just saying first, as soon as we get out there, just go out there and high head tackle, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, sure, you might say that, but you're not going to get Reece Walsh to do it. You're going to get one of the NPCs to do it. You know, so that's the difference. And I'm 100. It wasn't so bad that I felt he needed to be binned, but it was bad enough that he would have been binned regular season. Like, it wasn't a complete shoulder to the head, you know?
The argument is consistency. There was force because Coates was on one knee, though.
Yeah, exactly.
Coates is on one knee. He braces and hits him in the head. So there is mitigation. Sure, regular season, that's a send-off. But also, I'm glad that they are taking a bit of mitigation into it. And it is the thing. The better teams often get the better rub of the green. The better players get looked on. I actually thought Grant Atkins refereed that pretty well. Because the controversy came from the bunker, Ashley Klein. He was the guy who decided that it wasn't a 10 minutes in the bin.
Well, shout out to Ashley Klein because he loves a penalty too. But he also, in that first half, people forget, like Jerome Hughes had a high shot on someone too, literally the star player of the other team, and they let him play on too. So it's not just Reece Walsh who was let off one high tackle. There was quite a few of them.
Yeah, and because it's Reece Walsh, you know, there has all the controversy around it. And the pace that they played at, they just blew. Melbourne couldn't keep up with them in that second half. And so Bellamy's won 3 out of 11 grand finals.
That's what you're saying.
Yeah. He's maybe the worst coach in the... Like, will he have a job next year, you know? But you've got to feel for him losing back-to-back grand finals.
Yeah. I mean, well, to be honest, yeah, sure. I don't feel for him though, because Craig Bellamy and Wayne Bennett for me are two guys who have achieved so much that I don't feel sorry for them because they're so brilliant. And
And
so
do you know what Craig Bellamy hasn't lost? A game against the Warriors. So, so that's why I hate him. Maybe one here and there, but we've got that horrific, like we've lost 28 in a row or some horrific.
Yeah, no, I'm not feeling sorry for that, dude. Absolutely not. When do you think? Because for me in my head, it is Wayne Bennett and Craig are the two best coaches in the NRL. I think Madge now is like squarely in that top three.
Well, Madge goes into pretty rarefied air because he's won a comp at two clubs now,
Yes.
Souths and Broncos. There aren't many people. Wayne Bennett's done that. Plus, he's won one in the Super League. He's had New Zealand's biggest victory over Australia. He's won State of Origin. So what I like is he showed it's not just, and this is no knock on Ivan Cleary, I've got an awesome squad.
Yeah,
I'm bringing a few new players in, but they're all within the club that I've had control over.
Yeah.
So he's had completely different squads. Granted, he had Adam Reynolds at both Souths and Broncos. He's had completely different squads between the Super League, NRL, Origin, international footy. He brings the best out in players. He's got a good mix of being able to put steel into players, hard out, fit, but also letting the flair of your Reece Walsh, bringing Shibasaki out of nowhere. So, I mean, it'll be interesting to see what they do next year. But no, Madge is up there for sure.
Yeah. And one of the things too with this particular Broncos side and Madge too is it's not a side like, let's say, the Bulldogs who were doing so great in the regular season. But they'd brought in people from another successful franchise. You know what? They'd brought across Crichton and Matt Burton and things like that. This side has like none of the players other than like Adam Reynolds, and you could argue like Ben Hunt, who played at the Dragons and lost a grand final 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Haven't brought in premiership winning players. They've turned their players into premiership winners, which is like full credit to the Broncos. As much as you might want to try and hate on them or whatever, they have done it the toughest possible way. Considering like 4 years ago or 5 years ago, they were wooden spooners. So it's just like that. It's amazing what they've done.
Absolutely. And I'd love to get the inside word from Roger Shuivasa-Sheck, who was at their after party.
Was he?
Yeah. He was at the after party. I saw some photos of him with all the boys with their goggles on and going hard out. So he knows how to find himself in a good spot.
You know who also would have been there is the pants man, Joel Harrison. He would have been there.
Oh, the pants man. He's in our thread, but he always goes quiet and off the radar just post game. So I don't know, either he was in the urinal with a snorkel or he was somewhere. He was finding his way into that after party. Massive respect to the pants man. We lost him to the joys of Triple M, but he's living and breathing rugby league over there. And it's great. In wrapping it up, all I got to say is I've done, I think that was my 8th grand final. I've done the last 3 on the trot. Although I've realised I was talking to the talisman and realised we've done 3 grand finals but only seen 3 teams.
Yeah, right. Because the Broncos were there 2 years ago, so yeah.
It was Broncos Panthers, Panthers Melbourne, Broncos Melbourne. So I'd like a bit of a refresh. I'd love, if the Wars can't get out, I'd love a strong Souths Roosters grand final, just because that fan base would be epic.
Yeah, 100%.
And get yourself over there. Like, book early. I usually book real early as soon as the tickets go on sale, and make a bit of a week of it. Sydney is a beautiful city. Yeah. The vibes there are good. Rugby league fans are awesome. It's just a beautiful place to be.
Yeah, that's my exact same opinion about Magic Round 2. It's just brilliant. And you don't have to stay at the Novotel like Dai. You could stay at the Ibis, which is another one of Accor's offerings.
Or the Pullman,
Or the Pullman, whatever stage you're at, you can choose one of them there. You don't have to sit up in the top of the stands and look down on the players, because Dai loves looking down on rugby league players. You can sit anywhere. You can sit behind the posts. And this is definitely one of my goals for next year, is to either with our radio show or with the ACC, or might just have to be on my own dime, get over to the grand final, because I've never had as much FOMO watching rugby league as I did on Sunday.
Oh, and it was like a Brisbane home game. Like, there were so many Brisbane fans there, and behind the posts are where the fan zones are.
Yeah.
And, it's so different when you see fan zones that have 20,000 people in them. Like, so they're actually making so much noise. The sun sets over the stadium. They had a Red Bull air show, which doesn't really work when you've basically got an enclosed stadium, so you had to watch it on the screen.
Yeah, there's not a lot of space to operate an airplane in, I guess.
No, and it's just a great experience, and it was backed up no matter who you went for. That was an amazing game of footy.
Bloody oath it was. And before we do wrap things up today, because Mad Monday, we'd like to think we'll be back next year, and hopefully too with Warriors commentary for next season. We've been asked a lot about that. One final Dai Henwood off the back fence for Mad Monday in 2025.
Oh, here we go. Whether you're a rusted-on rugby league fan or you've just stumbled across Mad Monday, I want to welcome you in to the rugby league whānau. We want you. I want you to peel off that rugby union Connie, peel off that Breakers Connie, peel off that Mystics reverse Connie that you're wearing, peel off whatever prophylactic you have and impregnate yourself with rugby league. And it's what you need in your life. The door of rugby league is open and you can walk straight through it. You can walk into this beautiful house of six agains, this beautiful house of fast flowing rugby. So your average rugby union game, right, takes approximately 4,000 minutes to complete. Your average game of rugby league, boom, 80 minutes. Balls in play, boom, 78 minutes. It's just fizzing. You want to know about the grand final? The whole of New Zealand, population-wise, watch that grand final. People are involved in it. You can go on TikTok and watch your Reece Walshes, or you can actually watch rugby league, but something about it involves rugby league. We want you. We want you. You're welcome. It doesn't matter if you don't have a team yet. Come and watch some. Get into the shower of rugby league and watch grown men drizzle all over you. Drizzle your league all over you. We love you, and we want you involved in rugby league. We want you a member of the Wars. I love the Wars. Keezy loves the Wars, and the Wars are going to have an amazing 2026. Get involved. Mate Wars.
Thank you very much, Dai Henwood, and thank you as well to everyone that has tuned into Mad Monday, whether it's the podcast or commentaries and stuff over the years. Once again, we will be back next season. We might be back later with some of the Kiwis games going on later this year.
We could do some cheeky wrap-ups of that. That'd be awesome.
100%, yeah, and even some comms will be good too. So we'll see what we can do. Big shout out to 4 and 20 Pies for jumping on board this year, and of course, big shout out to the Export Ultra studio where we do all our stuff from. Dai Henwood, it's been an absolute pleasure this season, mate.
Hell yeah, I love it. I love you, Keezy. Big shout out to Manaya Lawi and the Titan onesie, Ben Hurley. What a season it's been, and Isaac for stepping in.
Yeah.
And of course, to Evan behind the scenes and the wonderful Joe Jury. Oh, I can't wait for next year. I'm already sad that rugby league's going away. I'm going to have to rewatch the entire season.
Yeah, you think he's joking, but he's not. From Mad Monday, we'll hopefully catch you for some of the Kiwis action. Otherwise, next season for the Wars. We'll see you later.
And Australia without rugby league is not Australia.